who are suffering or at risk due to the climate emergency. Can't hear? Use the other one? Okay. Can you hear me now? No, you can't. Can you hear me now? Hello. Yeah. Maybe if I have both of them in my face. Yes? Okay. All right. It seems appropriate to acknowledge in a situation like this, species and people who are suffering around the world or at risk due to the climate emergency. Please listen to our youth, give them the respect that they deserve, and to the species that they care about. This will be followed by a moment of silence. Who's going first? Oh, it's going first?
When people think of climate change in Canada and the animals that are affected by it, most people think of polar bears. And they are also very affected by this, but not many think about other animals like salmon. Salmon take up quite a bit of the grizzly bears, orcas, and killer whales diets, which affect them too. There's been a big drop in salmon, and if we don't change something fast, other than the climate, they could go extinct.
We acknowledge the salmon in British Columbia. The sockeye population has gone down from roughly 5 million to 600,000 in the Fraser River. That's only 12% left. Over 2,500 people are affected by the lack of salmon, from fishermen to First Nations. Some fishermen can't cover operating costs. I've heard of a shore worker who can only afford to provide one daily meal for their child. We acknowledge Canadians who are affected by wildfires. During the 2016 Fort McMurray fire, almost 600,000 hectares, greater than the size of Prince Edward Island, were burned. Nearly $10 billion were put into the recovering and extinguishing of the fire. In 2018, Calgary set a new record of 322 consecutive hours of smoke. This meant that people could not even go outside. We acknowledge the caribou. Over half of BC's surviving caribou herds are at the risk of extinction due to melting permafrost. A dozen of the herds have less than 25 animals. These herds have three herds have no reproducing individuals left. The Jean Marie First Nation of the Northwest Territories rely on caribou for food security. Canada's caribou population has declined by 40% over the last 25 years. We also acknowledge the Calgarians. In 2013, there were catastrophic floods in Calgary, Alberta. There was more flooding than anyone thought was possible. The flooding changed whole landscapes, made power outages, and shut down many businesses. People's houses got washed away. 5 people died. 75,000 people had to leave their homes. That's more than half of Guelph.
I acknowledge the snow leopard.
The orange spotted filefish live in
coral reef habitat. You have to protect the cheetahs and the rhinos because lots of them are dying.
Polar bears in the Arctic Circle.
So,
They were laughing at Mom. They were laughing at me.
You're awesome!
the cuckoo is going under extinction. We need less forest destruction and less human property. Polar bears are getting extinction.